Hey guys, and welcome to another speed build. So today I'm building my first house in The Sims 4. The Sims 4 is finally out, which I know it's been out for ages and I have no idea why I just said that, but so it was quite a challenge to build this house because obviously I don't know The Sims 4 very well and I was really getting to know it, and I haven't really watched any of the live streams that the creators did, and I haven't read up on the build mode and all that stuff, so I was really sort of just going with the flow. I was sort of figuring it out as I went along, and yeah, that's about it for now. The rooms were also a bit tricky because I don't know if you place down a foundation, that's considered a room, and then if you add anything else onto that, that's considered a separate room, even if there's no wall in between that, if you get what I'm saying. But it seemed to be that way, and that was kind of frustrating, I'm not gonna lie, but I sort of worked around it. Yeah, this house was pretty fun to build. It was quite hard though. I don't know, I feel like it's easier to make it look better in The Sims 3, and yeah, I don't really know what else to say other than that. But yeah, the bottom story actually has a second height of wall height. Does that make any sense at all? Probably not, but the second option for wall height, so it's not the highest, but it's not the lowest, so it's the second one. Yeah. And I was just playing around with the roofing tool. I really actually like the default roof. It's a nice roof. In The Sims 3 it was sort of the default one wasn't very nice, I never used it, but this one I used the default roof. And yeah, so this house is in Willow Creek, and it's sort of a traditional family home, I guess you could say, but on the inside the interior is quite contemporary. This roof was pretty hard to do. I don't really like the one that isn't a gable roof, I'm pretty sure. The one that doesn't have any exposed wall, I think. I don't know what it's called, but I don't really like it that much in this game, and because it doesn't go out over the edge of the building, if you know what I mean. It ends where the wall ends, which makes it hard to work with, in my opinion. I don't know if anyone else feels the same way. It was just a bit of a pain to work with. But yeah, surprisingly this video isn't as long as I thought it would be. I thought it would be like 40 minutes long, but it's only about 20 minutes long, unless I lost footage or something. I haven't watched through this yet, this is my first time, but yeah, and I used that, it's like a railing thing. Basically it's like a fence that goes on the roof sort of deal, I guess. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. I really like it. I think it's a nice addition rather than it just being connected to the fence. You can add it on separately, and it does make it look a bit fancier and a bit more stylish. I don't think that's the right word. But yeah, I don't actually really mind not having creative style. I mean, some of the time I was literally just like, okay, not crying, but it was really annoying because it didn't have the colors that I wanted, and it was hard to make things match sometimes. But in terms of wallpaper, I kind of like it because it gives me an excuse to be lazy, I'm not gonna lie. That's mainly the reason why I like it, but yeah, it makes it a lot quicker, definitely. But I mean, obviously I do still miss not having creative style, because creative style makes it more personalized. I think that's the right word to use. I'm not really sure, but yeah, I'm busy doing the windows, and there are some quite nice windows actually. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say right now, but at first I couldn't add a wall. No. Okay, just completely forget that I said that, but yeah, so I'm doing the windows on the top floor now, and that's basically what I'm doing. I had trouble finding a back door. I couldn't really find one that I liked, so I think I used the same door as I used for the front door. But yeah, the windows in this game are nice. I'm pretty sure I already said that, but I think the flooring, especially in this game, is really, really nice. I really like that. Yeah, I think this house has 3 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. It is available on the gallery, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it should be when this video goes up. I don't think it is when I'm recording this, but it should be when this video goes up. One thing that's really cool is you can place doors right in front of stairs. I don't know if you just saw there, but I have some stairs leading up, and then right where it lands, there's a door there, and it's functionable, which is really, really cool. In The Sims 3, you couldn't do that without using cheats, but even when you did use cheats, they couldn't go through the door, so yeah. I didn't actually realize when I was doing most of the wallpaper that if you press Alt, it just paints one wall. Not one wall, or not one block, but like one wall, if you know what I mean. I don't know if that makes any sense. So it could paint like 5 blocks and that would be one wall. I don't know if that makes sense, but you probably maybe know what I'm talking about. But I didn't realize that until like halfway through, or more than halfway through the build. And then when I realized it made my life a hell of a lot easier, because yeah, I was having trouble painting the walls and stuff, and I used the scaling up objects cheat quite a bit in this house, because that is a really fun thing to do. And if you don't know how to do that, just go and watch the Sim Supplies tutorial, because actually I believe Deligracy has one now as well, so you could watch that. You probably already have though. But yeah, I did use a curved counter in here, and I had to use that range hood because, I mean, come on guys, let's admit that we were all pretty excited when we found out there'd be range hoods. But one thing that they don't have in the game, which is annoying, is dishwashers, and I really like dishwashers, and I can barely live without them in The Sims 3, so I don't know how I'm going to be able to handle this. But there is a lot of cool clutter in this game. There's even a whole section called clutter, which, like, I just got so excited. I don't like the desks in this game. That is something I must say. I do like some of them, but a lot of them, they just don't have like a normal desk. Like, they all have something quite fancy on them. They can't just have a simple desk like they did in The Sims 3, like one with drawers and stuff that are on the side of the desk, but it's still like a normal looking desk, if you know what I mean. I have no idea if you can tell what I'm saying right now, but there is a breakfast table over here, and there is a more grand sort of dining room in a separate room. The room behind this that I will move on to pretty soon. And I took that painting and made it like leaning against the wall, and it looks really cool. Yeah. And there is a little shoe rack there, which I like. They have a men's shoe rack and a ladies' shoe rack, which is cool. And the shoes aren't like oversized. Like, if you notice in The Sims 3, the shoe rack that came with Generations, those shoes are massive, and like they wouldn't actually fit a Sim, but in this they are actually normal sized, which is good, and it makes sense. But I'm moving on to the bathroom now, or one of the bathrooms now. Yeah, I really quite like the plumbing in this game. Oh, the bathroom items in this game. One thing that annoys me is the lighting. I like how the lighting goes between levels and stuff, but it annoys me. Like that shower, and like the stove and stuff, and the fridge as well, they all look sort of yellow, but actually the color that I used is a white color, but for whatever reason the lighting makes it look yellow, which is annoying as hell. And I just no. I wish they had invisible lights like they did in The Sims 3, because those were so handy. Yeah. And I use these funny towel rack things. Your Sims, like in real life, they probably wouldn't be able to reach those, because this room does have a pretty high ceiling, so it would be hard to reach those unless you had like a giant in your family. But yeah, this is the dining room. It was quite a weird shape, so I sort of just had to shove something in one of the corners. I think I put a sofa or like a couch or something, and I used that chandelier thing. It was quite small originally, but I used the scaling up object thing to make it bigger so it looks all grand. And here is the dining room table. It is a nice table, I must admit. I like it. It's really, really simple, and it's just nice, you know. I think I was going to put a chair and stuff there. I'm not sure if those stay. They might actually, but I don't remember. This house did take me a while to build. I mean, I was like really excited to play and all, but I just didn't have time to build, because in the last week of school, at my school at least, we have like a bunch of tests and essays and speeches and all that stuff that it just stresses me out in the last week. But yeah, so I didn't, and this was built in about the last week of school, so I didn't really have time. But they have a lot of these sort of little hallway tables, I guess. They're like skinny tables, like thin, you know, so you can shove them in a one square wide hallway. I'm just doing the decking outside, and I'm not sure if that chair stays, but I did put a barbecue in. I was gonna do the outside now, but no, I couldn't. So I'm moving upstairs now, and I basically just filled this room with like random little bits and pieces. Something that annoyed me a bit though was that, oh no, okay, never mind. Just forget what I was about to say. But I put some bookshelves in here, I think. Yeah, and a mirror over there. I'm basically just explaining what's happening, which you can see perfectly well. But yeah, and I just shoved a bunch of rugs everywhere, because they have so many rugs in this game. Like, I mean, a lot of them are pretty similar, but there are a lot of them. But look at all like these bits and pieces. Like the books just excite me the most. Those just look awesome. And like those jacket sort of rack things, I guess. And the plants are really nice, and just everything is so nice. It's all to date, if you know what I mean. Like, it's not really old-fashioned. I mean, some of it is, but a lot of it is quite modern. I think the only thing I would say that I don't really like that much is the bed selection. I don't know, it just doesn't do it for me. I just don't like the color options for the beds. Like, I wish you could, I know I'm not the only person to have said this, but I wish you could change the colors of the sheets and like the wood, I guess, of the bed. I wish you could change those separately, because the fact that you can change them, like, they have to be two set things, or no, they one color instead of two colors, if that makes any sense. The fact that it's that it just doesn't really work very well. But yeah, there is I've said this before, but the clutter, it's just so cool. And I use these funny shelf things. You can't fit that many things onto them, which, I mean, like, so annoying because a lot of those stuff would look really good on those shelves, but they just can't be put there for some reason. Yeah, I'm not really sure what else to say. This is an ensuite bathroom. I basically just copied every single thing in here, because if you look around in your house, most of the items are going to be pretty much the same. So yeah, I basically just copied everything and filled it with clutter again, because that always looks really nice, and yeah, I like it a lot. I think I've said before that I'm a fan of the wall art in this game, but when I started playing in build mode and stuff, I don't know, I found it quite hard to choose like what wall art I wanted. It's just a bit hard because the paintings and all that stuff is really, really small. It's not big enough and it doesn't really fit where I want it to fit. It just becomes a pain. But this bed is like one of the only beds I'm really a huge fan of. It's the only really modern or contemporary one. I don't know, I just feel like the beds don't really fit with the rest of the furniture in the game. Yeah. But one thing that also annoys me is that if you have a lamp on a table, you can't put anything else on the table, which is like The Sims 2 and not like The Sims 3. Like The Sims 3, you could have a bunch of things on a table, including lamps, but not in The Sims 4. So that's one step backwards, but you know, I did put a TV in here. I love how you can put TVs on like any sort of table. You can, like, your TV isn't built in with the table. Like, you can put it on a separate table, which is awesome, and I know I've wanted for quite a while. But yeah, and there are some pretty funky rugs in this game as well, like some pretty massive ones, and I think it's sort of for, like, I'd imagine for like museums, I guess. But yeah, I'd made a girl's bedroom and a boy's bedroom. One's pink, one's blue. Nothing cliche there. But this is the boy's room. He just gets a single bed and the girl gets a double bed. But yeah, once again, it was quite hard. I like though how the blankets sort of puff up from the bed. I don't know if anyone else has noticed that, but yeah. Yeah. One thing I didn't realize until like the end of this build is when you change from day to night, it's like you don't change just from day to night, you change from day to evening, evening to night, night to morning, morning to afternoon, which I didn't realize. So right now I thought I was in the daytime, but actually I was in the evening or something like that, and I was just kind of confused. But yeah, I think that's a really cool feature, but I wish I'd realized it sooner. But yeah, this room is much more decorated than the girls' room. I think there just wasn't really much space in this room to decorate, and I probably should have gotten rid of the double bed, but at this point I was sort of being a bit lazy, and I know, I'm sorry. But yeah, it still looks quite nice. Yeah, the furniture in this game, like, this room it's not very modern, it's more traditional, I guess. But I used these little pictures and like put them up above each other, and I thought that looked really cute. But yeah, there weren't really many posters or pictures or whatever that I really wanted to put in this room, so yeah. But I had some trouble doing the outside because there are so many cool new things that you can do, and yeah, I was being really picky. I think I used a lot of hedges and stuff, but yeah. And the terrain paints in this game are quite nice. I'm not a fan of the flowers though, like, yeah, the flowers, because I usually like to put those under my trees and they just look so repetitive and solid and just not very nice. So those are some things that I'm not a fan of. Not the flowers as in like the object flowers, like, I mean the terrain paint sort of flower things. I'm not really a huge fan of. But yeah, I lined like the deck with these pretty flowers and like hedges and stuff because I just thought they looked really nice. And yeah, I'm just doing like a sort of patio. There wasn't a lot of space on the lot, so obviously I couldn't put that much detail in. I put like a planter box there and like a little al fresco. Is that what it's called? I doubt it. But like a little outdoor dining area. And this is when I realized like the day-night setting sort of things, and I got really excited. And I put these fountain things here just because I really had no idea what I should do. So I just put a fountain in. I don't leave it like this, I make it one solid fountain, but I sort of tried to make it look like a pond. Didn't really work very well, but I tried. Yeah, and they're like these fancy type things to line the fountains, which I thought was quite a nice detail. I don't know, but I'm putting in trees now, and this is when I sort of realized that I don't really like the flowering because it looks so repetitive. It just I don't really like it. I put some flowers in over here, I think, yeah, and those look quite nice. But I think I'm coming to an end, and I actually forgot to put in screenshots before recording this, so I'm going to have to just play music through the screenshots, so I'm sorry about that. But yeah, I just put like little rocks everywhere. And anyway, thanks for watching.